Welcome students. In this video we are going to study types of quadrilateral. Now before going to this particular concept, let us revise some concepts of parallel lines. Now we all have studied this parallel lines concept in 7th standard. So if there are parallel lines which are intercepted by a transversal, suppose L and M are parallel and it is intercepted by a transversal. You must be remembering the definition of transversal. Transversal is a line which intersects two or more lines in two or more different points, that is distinct points. Is it okay? So such a line is called as transversal. You must be remembering this, we have studied in 7th standard. See here there are two lines L and M and the transversal is intersecting that L and M in two different points. So such a line is called as transversal. So which is transversal here? T. Now when we have a transversal, how many angles are formed there? So we can see there are 8 angles formed, living linear pair. So angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, angle 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So how many angles are formed? 8 angles are formed. And these angles are classified by different names and they obey certain properties. Is it okay? So when we have parallel lines and a transversal, we get 4 pairs of corresponding angles which are equal. Now I'm just revising. I'm not at all explaining because we have done well this in 7th standard. So which are the pair of corresponding angles? So we say 1 and 5. Is it okay? Then which are the other pairs? You must be telling correctly. 2 and 6. Then 4 and 8 and 3 and 7. So these are the other pair of corresponding angles, and if the lines are parallel, the corresponding angles are equal. Is it okay? So we write down these pairs. Now how can we identify? Our aim is not studying the property. We can use the property only when we can identify the pair of corresponding angles. So when we go for identification, if I trace 2 and 6, which shape do we see? Is it inverted F shape? Is it okay? So if you come across F shape, again see tracing. After tracing, if you see F shape, then that means pair of corresponding angles. Of course, there should be parallel lines. This is the first condition. Is it okay? Another pair we can observe. Suppose I go for 3 and 7. Angle 3 I have traced and angle 7 I have traced. Again, which shape do you observe? It is F. So F can be seen very clearly, or that F is used as identification for corresponding angles. Isn't it? So I repeat, if two parallel lines are intersected by a transversal, then there is formation of how many corresponding angles? Pairs of corresponding angle? 4, and they are equal. Is it okay? And which letter is taken, or which letter can be seen if you want to see corresponding angles? So that is F. Children, in geometry when we learn figures, the best technique to understand a figure is tracing the figure. Without tracing, you cannot understand that diagram very well. Is it okay? So when we trace the figure, if we come across F shape, and if the condition of parallel lines is given, then you can use the property that corresponding angles are equal. Okay, then you must be recalling now the remaining names of the pairs. So next is alternate interior angle. So I have drawn the same figure. Now alternate interior angles. Now before that, do we know which are the interior angles? So interior angles which are in the inside. So 4, 3, 5, 6. And which are the exterior angles? 1, 2, 8, 7, which are outside. Now alternate means which are on the different side of transversal. So which you see? 4 and 6. Isn't it? 4 and 6 and 3 and 5. These are the alternate interior angles. So if the lines are parallel, these pairs are equal. Now how can you see that these angles are formed. So sometimes it is not like simply parallel lines are given, but the angles are of other shape. So which letter you see when I trace these two angles? Can you see? Must be telling the correct name, that is Z. So if I trace angle 4 and angle C, I come across Z. So if you come across such a Z shape in any of the figure, that means those angles are alternate interior angles. And then they are equal. Similarly, which is the other pair of alternating interior angles? So it is 3 and 8. So 3 and 5, not 8. 3 and 5. So do you again come across Z shape? So yes, it is inverted, but it is Z shape. So when two lines are parallel and intersected by a transversal, the alternate interior angles which are formed, they are equal, and there are two pair of alternate interior angles. And which letter can be visualized or can be used to identify alternate interior angle? That is Z. Similarly, then we have alternate exterior angle. Now there is no such letter, but if you understand alternate interior angle, then you can identify alternate exterior angles. So angle 1 and angle 7, these are exterior angles but different side of transversal. So 1 and 7 and 2 and 8, they are also equal. Is it clear? Then comes the co-interior angle. This is very important pair. That is interior angles on the same side of transversal. They are also called as co-interior angle or allied angles. Now, which are the interior angles on the same side of transversal? So first they are interior. So that means 4, 5, 3, 6 out of these. They are same side of transversal. So that is 4 and 5 and 3 and 6. And these angles are always supplementary. They are not equal. They are supplementary. Supplementary means what? Their sum will be 180 degree. So angle 4 plus angle 5 is equal to 180 degree. Angle 3 plus angle 6 will be equal to 180 degree. Now all these conditions are true only when two lines are parallel and they are intersected by a transversal. Are you getting? The angles are formed if the lines are not parallel, but then they are not following these conditions. Apart from these angles, there are other angles also, like linear pair 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. They are always supplementary, and vertically opposite angles are always equal. So all these basic knowledge is required to understand quadrilateral or types of quadrilateral. Is it okay? So I hope you recall these concept of parallel lines and transversal, and then corresponding angles, alternate interior angle, alternate exterior angle, and co-interior angles. I hope you have understood also. So now let us go to the types of quadrilateral. Now before again going to directly types of quadrilateral, when we talk about any quadrilateral, it is a four-sided polygon. Is it okay? Then this quadrilateral is always named by its vertices, and which vertices are given always around the boundary. We do not cross the interior. So we name this quadrilateral as A, B, C, D, and we have parts of the quadrilateral. So when we talk about quadrilateral, it has four sides. Okay. It has four vertices A, B, C, D. It has four angles, angle A, angle B, angle C, angle D. And it has two diagonals. So when we talk about a quadrilateral, we are talking about its parts. And that only are the distinguishing factors between the types of quadrilaterals. The properties of these parts will define different kinds of quadrilaterals. Is it okay? So when quadrilateral, four-sided polygon, and what are its parts? Four sides, four vertices, four angles, and two diagonals. Is it clear? Now, when we talk about the quadrilateral, we also talk about its adjacent sides, opposite sides, and adjacent angles, opposite angles. So when I talk about AB and BC, is there any vertex common? So we say yes, B is common. So these two sides are adjacent sides. Can we have few more pairs here? So yes, BC and DC. This is another pair. Then CD and AD. So each and every adjacent sides, pair of adjacent sides of a quadrilateral will have one vertex common. That is the identification of adjacent side. So if I talk about AB and CD, can you say that they are adjacent? So you will say no, they are not adjacent because there is no vertex common. Then if they are not adjacent, are they opposite? So we say yes, AB and CD are opposite. I'll take another color so that we can see more clearly. So AB and CD, they are opposite. Similarly, how many another pair is there? AD and BC, they are opposite sides. Similarly, can we have adjacent angles? So we say angle A is adjacent to angle B and also angle D. Similarly, B is adjacent to angle A and angle C. Angle C is adjacent to angle B and angle D, and angle D is adjacent to angle C and angle A. Is it okay? So we have pair of adjacent angles, pair of opposite angles. Now pair of opposite angles, so angle A and angle C, angle D and angle B. Is it clear? So these concepts also which we have studied, but we must recall, because when we go for types of quadrilateral, we are talking about all these what we say parts, and that are only used to differentiate between the quadrilaterals. Am I clear, children? So first thing, you should be able to name the quadrilateral in proper way. Is it okay? If the name is given, you should be able to draw the quadrilateral in a proper way. You must remember that the names are always given. You can go clockwise, anti-clockwise, but you have to go around the figure, not crossing the figure. Is it okay? Then we should be able to identify all the parts of quadrilateral. So let us summarize all these things what we have studied till now. So we say a quadrilateral, which is a four-sided polygon, is called as quadrilateral. Parts of the quadrilateral: 4 vertices, 4 sides, 4 angles and 2 diagonals, and these are used to define the properties of types of quadrilateral. Is it clear? So every quadrilateral will have 4 vertices, 4 sides, 4 angles and 2 diagonals. Is it okay? Now with this knowledge, we will go for types of quadrilateral. So one shape I have drawn here. Now in this shape, if you observe, you can easily see that these one pair of lines, they are parallel, sides is parallel. Is it? Another figure we will draw. Again here it is clearly seen that this pair of side is parallel. So if in a quadrilateral, one pair, of course adjacent sides cannot be parallel, so we were talking about opposite side. If there is one pair of opposite sides parallel, then such a quadrilateral is called as trapezium. To be more specific, we say if a quadrilateral has at least one. Now this word at least means can be one or can be more than one. Now more than one means it can be two only. Isn't it? So if a quadrilateral has at least one pair of parallel sides, then such a quadrilateral is called as trapezium. What do we call it as? Trapezium. Is it okay? How do we indicate the parallel lines? By putting arrows on the parallel sides. The indication of parallel sides is always given by arrows. Is it clear? You can show on the right side, you can show direction on left side, here upper or downward, that makes no difference. But if you are putting arrows on the sides, that is understood that the sides are parallel. Is it clear? So let us go for the definition of trapezium. Now these are the diagonals we have drawn. So let us go for trapezium. A trapezium is a quadrilateral with at least one pair of parallel sides. How many? At least. This word is very important. You are going to underline it. Trapezium is a quadrilateral with at least one pair of parallel line. Is it clear to you? Are you getting? So now this is trapezium, one kind of quadrilateral. Now as there are parallel lines, as I told, recall the properties of parallel lines. Now which lines are parallel? Which lines are parallel? AB and CD. So what about these angles? Marked with green and another marked with this. Can anybody identify which angles are these? Are you recalling something which we have discussed earlier? If I talk about AB and CD, can I say AD is a transversal? Intersection always doesn't mean that the line is crossing like this. This is also intersection, isn't it? So can I say AD is a transversal? I'll rub the unnecessary portion and then. Now AB is parallel to CD. So can I say AD is a transversal? If it is a transversal, are these interior angles on the same side of transversal? Then what is the property? That these angles are supplementary. So can I say then angle A plus angle D is equal to 180 degree? Are you getting? Likewise, do we have any another pair of supplementary angles here? Yes, you must be telling me the correct answer. The another pair is angle B and angle C, because again BC is the transversal. So this way we are using now the parallel lines concept here. Are you getting? So what we do, the property of trapezium is what? That in trapezium there is at least one pair of parallel lines, and how many pair of adjacent angles are supplementary? 2 pairs. Out of 4 pairs of adjacent angles, there are 2 pairs of supplementary angle. Only thing is you must be able to identify them. Is it okay? So first what will you identify? You will identify parallel lines AB and CD, and then you will identify the co-interior angles. Am I clear, children? So I hope you have understood this type of one type of quadrilateral, that is trapezium. Now trapezium has 2 pairs of adjacent angles are supplementary. So this is the property of adjacent trapezium. Okay. Now we have one more. Now this is again a trapezium, but in this trapezium one pair of parallel lines is there and the non-parallel sides are equal. How do we indicate equal parts? By identical marks. So such a quadrilateral is called as isosceles trapezium. And when we talk about isosceles trapezium, the diagonals are equal. Why? All these things we can prove by using congruence of triangles. Is it okay? Everything we can prove by using congruence of triangle. Those who are interested can look into the figure and check whether we can prove AC is equal to BD by using congruence of triangle. I'll appreciate and I'll be very happy if they are able to use the concept of congruency to prove this result. Is it okay? So what we say, in isosceles trapezium the non-parallel sides are equal, and hence I will use hence the diagonals are also equal. Is it clear? Another important property, so we write isosceles trapezium in which non-parallel sides are equal is called isosceles trapezium. I once again read, trapezium in which non-parallel sides are equal is called isosceles trapezium. Now as it is isosceles trapezium, its diagonals are equal. This is one special property other than trapezium. In simple trapezium, diagonals were not equal, but in isosceles trapezium, diagonals are equal. Now what happens in isosceles trapezium? The word isosceles, why do we call isosceles? Because 2 sides are equal. The base angles, do you remember isosceles triangle? Yes, base angles. These base angles are equal. That means angle D is always equal to angle C, and which is the another pair of base angle, though it is not in the base, but we call it as base. Angle A is equal to angle B. And that property is again true. Angle A plus angle D is equal to 180 degree. Angle B plus angle C is equal to 180 degree. And angle A is equal to angle B, angle C is equal to angle D. So which 2 extra properties does isosceles trapezium show? Diagonals are equal and base angles are equal. Is it okay? So let us write down these properties. So diagonals are equal and base angles are equal. You can draw with colors these base angles and base angles of isosceles trapezium. Is it clear? I hope you have understood. So we have finished with trapezium. In trapezium we have one isosceles trapezium. Now let me erase it and let us go to the next quadrilateral. Okay. Now that is a kite. This is another type of quadrilateral. A quadrilateral with two distinct pair of equal adjacent sides. Now what does it mean? We will draw the figure of first in this way. These are two adjacent angles which are equal, and there are another pair of adjacent sides which is also equal. But these two, the green one and the pink one, they are not necessarily to be equal. If they become equal, then the quadrilateral will change to rhombus. Is it okay? So a quadrilateral with two distinct pair of equal adjacent sides is called a kite. Is it clear? Now in kite, we have actually two isosceles triangles if we join the diagonal, the upper one and the lower one, isn't it? So let us draw the figure for this. So we have kite in this way. Now what happens in kites? We have two diagonals and these diagonals are perpendicular bisector. If there are adjacent equal sides, then the diagonals will be perpendicular. This is very important property. You remember it. Is it okay? So when we have, which is the diagonal here? This particular. This is the diagonal and this is smaller diagonal. So these two, are they forming a perpendicular? And it is shown. So in kite, the diagonals are perpendicular. And the smaller one, this is smaller one diagonal and this one is bigger. The bigger diagonal, which we call it as major diagonal, is always bisects. What is the meaning of bisects? Bisects means divide it into equal parts. It bisects the smaller. So suppose I write A, B and this is D. So I'll say AC bisects BD. AC bisects BD means if this middle point is O, then BO is equal to OD. Do you understand the meaning of bisect? Bisect. Bi means two. Sect means parts. So AC is dividing BD into two equal parts. So that is bisecting. So here major diagonal bisects the minor diagonal. Minor means shorter. So we write the property diagonals are perpendiculars to each other. Second, larger diagonal, that is major diagonal, bisects the shorter diagonal, that is minor diagonal. And let me erase it again so that to have clarity. Now there are two angles. There are two angles formed with non-equal sides. Only one pair of opposite angles is equal. And how can you identify that pair of angles? The angles which are formed by non-equal sides. That means non-equal sides. Again, this result can be proved very well with congruence of triangles, because we all know that diagonal divides quadrilateral into two triangles. So here when we talk about, simply we can have, if I talk about this particular diagonal, can you say that these two triangles are congruent by SSS? Just think over it and enjoy that you can prove it that these two angles are equal. Let me rub. These two angles are equal. So we write there one pair of opposite angles is equal. Only one. The other pair is not equal. If other pair becomes equal, then it may become a square or a rhombus. Is it clear? So second type of quadrilateral, that is kite. Then third comes the parallelogram. What is parallelogram? So a quadrilateral whose opposite sides are parallel. Means both the pair of opposite sides. So this one as well as this one. So there are two pairs of opposite sides to be parallel. Now in trapezium we have defined that there is at least one pair. In that sense, can I call parallelogram as a special trapezium? So sometimes we call a parallelogram as special trapezium. Are you getting? Because there are more than one pair of parallel lines. Now what happens when the lines become parallel? So let us first draw the figure and then understand. So, sorry, let me erase it. Now we draw a parallelogram. Then first we draw the diagonals. Then we name. Now when we talk about parallelogram, the diagonals are bisecting each other. If they are intersecting at O, then these two parts are equal. Is it okay? Each diagonal is bisecting the other one. Is it okay? So O is midpoint of two diagonals. What we say? O is the midpoint of two diagonals. Now, when we talk about the angles, opposite angles are equal. Opposite angles are equal. Similarly, there is another pair of opposite angles. So, when we talk about parallelogram, in parallelogram, opposite sides are parallel and they are equal. How many? Two pairs of. Then opposite angles are equal. How many pairs? Two pairs. Then diagonals are bisecting each other. Third property. Then what are the other properties? As there are two pairs of parallel lines, suppose I write A, B, C, D. As then if AB is parallel to CD, then AD and BC are the transversal. So is there formation of again co-interior angle? So we say yes. So again you will find A plus D is equal to 180 degree. Okay, what about D plus C? D plus C is also equal to 180 degree because DC are the co-interior angle for AD and BC, and which is the transversal DC. Similarly, if we talk about AB and DC to be parallel lines, so BC will also be transversal. So what about angle B and angle C? Are they co-interior angles? So we say yes. So angle B plus angle C is also equal to 180 degree. So in parallelogram, each pair of adjacent angle is supplementary. See how many properties does it have. So a quadrilateral whose opposite sides are parallel is called as parallelogram. The name itself is talking about parallel lines or parallel sides. Then what are the properties because of these parallel sides? So because of this we get opposite sides not only parallel but they are equal. So let me write down. Opposite sides are parallel and have equal length. Opposite angles are equal. Adjacent angles are supplementary. Always they are supplementary. Diagonals bisect each other. So these are all the types of all the properties of parallelogram. Is it okay? Now we should be able to use all these properties to solve problems first. Is it okay? So quadrilateral is basically divided into three types of quadrilateral. One is trapezium, second one is kite, and third one is parallelogram. And then parallelogram is converted into another three types, that is rectangle, square and rhombus, which we will study in later part. Is it okay? But first in this particular video, as we have learnt all the property, you are going to watch all the video, all these properties very keenly. You are going to watch this video twice, thrice to remember all the properties. And we are going to solve some problems based on these properties in next video, so that we will understand and learn the properties more precisely. I hope you have understood. Thank you, children. See you in next video.